Now, I think I can ask you to begin your lecture. Please go on.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for
Yeah.
giving me this opportunity.
Yes.
And let's begin the lecture. So, hello everyone. Today I'm going to give a lecture on the topic multidimensional relationship of India and Maldives. So, to understand that completely, we need to first of all we need to understand about we need to have introduction of Maldives. I personally believe that you guys have, or even the other students of international relations from abroad, they are very aware of about India because India is a big state, a powerful nation. But when it's come about Maldives, then they are not that well aware because it's a small archipelagic South Asian country. So let's talk about Maldives first. That what kind of country it is. Maldives is a small archipelagic nation situated in the Indian Ocean, and it is a South Asian country. It is near to Sri Lanka and India, southern coast of India, and because it is a South Asian country, so it shares a lot of political, historical, cultural background with India. And one very important thing, like some scholars even claim that the term Maldives is derived from two Sanskrit terms, Mala and Dweep, means garlands of island. That kind of claim they do, some scholars. Now, let's talk about the kind of relationship, the kind of connection India and Maldives enjoy in ancient time. In ancient time, uh, like in India, we have so many independent provinces ruled by so many Hindu rulers and some Buddhist rulers also. Similarly, in Maldives also, you can find out in ancient time, Hindu and Buddhist rulers were ruling the nation. But like after the invasion of Muslim invaders, like the kind of influence we have faced, similarly, the influence was faced by Maldives, and a Buddhist ruler converted his religion from Buddhism to Islam, and uh, it took like 2 to 3 centuries that the whole population converted itself from other religion to Islam only. And now in these days like it is Maldives is a 100% Muslim country. So you can understand the transformation, the social transformation uh, occurred over there. Now we need to understand that why it is so important. It's a small archipelagic nation with thousands of, like not exactly 1000, but yeah, thousands of population or that kind of thing. So why it is so important? Maldives is very important for India, not only for India but other powerful nations also, like China, USA, UK, Japan, Russia, that kind of powerful nations. For them, Maldives is very important. Why? Because of its geostrategic location. Like you can see that I have already told you that the location it located in Indian Ocean. And uh, if you see the map in Indian Ocean, ocean connects continents like Africa and either like these Western Asia and Japan kind of nations. So it connects, and through the Indian Ocean, you can find out so many crucial sea lanes of communication through which uh, trade activities are going on. And this is the era of globalization, and economic activities are very important. So, any political instability or any kind of uh, uh, disturbance occur in Maldives can have very direct impact on the activities, the economic activities. So, therefore, Maldives is very important not only for India but for the entire world, even if it is a small nation. So, we can say it is a small nation with big responsibility. Other thing is yeah. So I have discussed yeah. So I have discussed ancient time. After ancient time, after the conversion into Islam, it was ruled by uh, sultans, the monarchs who ruled the nation following the principles of Islam, they ruled the nation more than 800 years. And uh, and we Indians also witnessed Sultanate period. So you can understand the connection between these two nations during that period of time. And we have been ruled by Britain, and it was also for a long period of time, it was also a protectorate of Britain and its external affairs, because it is a small nation, so it couldn't benefit Britain economically, politically, but externally, like foreign affairs matters were taken care by Britain because it is important. So it shows its importance. And during that period of time, that what kind of relationship India and Maldives can have, you can understand with these facts and figures. In 1947, India got independence, but Maldives got independence from British suzerainty in 1965. And since then, since 1965, it started having a relationship with India. In 1978, President like Gayoom became the president of Maldives, and he ruled from 1978 to 2008. During this period of time, the relationship of India and Maldives was very good, very good. Economically, very like a lot of trade was going on. In Maldives was very dependent on India, on like for its necessary needs of security needs and for economic needs or any kind of any emergency problem if occurred in Maldives. That of course first its first reliable friend who helped the Maldives is India only. In 1988, by a militant group, Tamil People's Liberation of Tamil Elam, they landed in Maldives and started claiming for territorial rights over there. At that period of time, Gayoom asked for help to India, and at that period of time, Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India, and he immediately took step and sent 1,600 military troops over there. They failed the coup and they secured the independence, the sovereignty of the nation. So you can understand the importance of India for Maldives. In 2004, a tsunami occurred over there, and it was India who landed uh, on the lands of Maldives first with uh, ec- uh, relief measures. And in 2008, a change occurred in Maldivian political system because new constitution they adopted, and but a multi-party democratic constitution they adopted. And after adoption of the constitution, regular elections was started taking place in Maldives. And in 2008, and one thing I want before discussing these things, I want to discuss one thing also. Like in 1990s, a change occurred in Maldivian society, which started like impacting relationship of Maldives and India, because we know India is a nation having like Hindu majority population we have, and they have Muslim, not majority, but 100% population is Muslim only. So you can understand that, uh, and because before 1990s, Maldivians were following very moderate, very liberal Islamic principles and Sharia laws. But in 1990s, since 1990s, Salafis movement were started over there. And the Salafi movement talks about like conversion from moderate liberal Islamic principles to radical Islamic tenets. And of course, the radical tenet and that kind of transformation occurred over there because of the growing connection of Maldives with Saudi Arabia, Pakistan kind of nation. And of course you can understand that these nations like have history of promoting like terrorism, they got involved in such activities. So and India is like have faced so many terrorist attacks and religious, and have faced so many negativity from religious Islamic religious fundamentalism. So that kind of new trend started evolving in Maldives. And the people of Maldives have divided into two groups. Like one is a supporter of Islamic radical Islamic principles, and other are like very interested in liberal and moderate Islamic tenets. So since 2008, and they converted the representatives of these groups have like after 2008 with the multi-party democratic constitution, like they started having the political parties with these two ideologies only. Like some political parties are like they follow liberal Islamic tenets, other follow radical Islamic tenets. So whenever any political party which came in power and they are liberal, like they are following liberal Islamic tenets, that of course they follow the traditional foreign policy principle regarding India first policy. So during that period of time, you can just understand that during this period of time, if a liberal Islamist political party is ruling the nation, then the relationship with India and Maldives is going smooth and fine. But whenever the radical Islamist political party started ruling over there, then they follow pro-Chinese foreign policy, and it have really negative impact on the relationship of India and Maldives. So in 2008, when the elections occurred, the first multi-party elections occurred in Maldives, then uh, a liberal Islamist political party called MDP, Maldivian Democratic Party, came in power, and President Nasheed became the ruler, the president, the head of the administration of Maldives. And from 2008 to 2012, the relationship of India and Maldives was really very good. It they like the president follow India first policy. After taking oath as president, he visited India. Like first visit he took was to India only. So during that period of time, the relationship was very good in economic and but yeah, and in 2012 regime change was occurred over there. Wahid became president, followed by Yamin. And these two presidents were like from the political parties who follow radical Islamist principle, and they are pro-Chinese. So from 2012 to 2018, the relationship was not that good, and it like Maldives started moving towards China starting having very strong and close connection with Maldives, and India had like lost many uh, close ties with like many agreements got cancelled during that period of time. So that period was not good for Maldivian and Indian relationship. In 2018, again, elections occurred, and MDPs, like and the political party which follow moderate Islamic tenets, came in power, and again they started following India First policy. And since 2018 to 2023, the relationship of India and Maldives was really very good. So many agreements have signed, and the relationship of economic relationship, defense relationship, everything was going very smoothly over that period of time. But of course, the impact China had from 2012 to 2018, that the influence was so strong that it can't be just removed by India or any other uh, new government. Even they follow India first policy, but the connection was not that absolute, that dependent. Like the Maldives was like before 2008, Maldives were the dependence of Maldives and the closeness of Maldives and India was like very high. There was no any third party between them. But now we have a third party, and India needs to take care of that. And again in 2020, elections occurred. A radical political party, PPM, got power. Muizu became the president, and we all are well aware of the fact that so many like problems and controversies started emerging between India and Maldives, and China play very crucial role in. So these three nations started having like different kind of disturbing like relationship with each other, and Maldives and like not exactly with each other, but yeah, India had to face a lot of competition with China while conducting good relationship with Maldives. And even in that condition, when Maldivian president is like following pro-Chinese foreign policy, then of course it is like that only. So I have discussed the like the whole period, like how the relationship of India and Maldives have evolved by the time. And I have mentioned the important factors which impact their relationship. Other thing that these two nations have close ties in two sectors very uh, significantly. Like first is security issue, because Maldives is a small nation, and it cannot like provide security in the Indian Ocean independently. It needs someone. And and India is also a South Asian nation located in Indian Ocean, so it is also very concerned about like uh, the security of Indian Ocean. So therefore, these two countries have signed a lot of agreements related to the security of the region, the Indian Ocean region, and counter terrorism, counter violence in this region. And economic ties, like these two nations have, of course, very good economic ties also. Because one thing while discussing the economic ties of Maldives and India, we need to understand that uh, Maldives is a nation who is uh, completely dependent on two sectors. First is fishery, not fishery, like first is tourism and second is fishery. And for other needs like food, grains, building constructive materials, and medicines, and so many other like requirements, it is dependent on import from other countries. So India import a lot to China and export few things, but generally we import to Maldives. Sorry, I said China. Like India import a lot to Maldives and fulfill its uh, requirements, other requirements of medicines also. Even we have our State Bank of India, and it is also working. Like the bank has a branch in Maldives, and it provided uh, like very easy loan to the people, so their tourism sector, their economic like investment they can have, so it provide. State Bank of India. India also help Maldives to construct like hospitals, uh, colleges, schools. They provide it provides scholarships for their students, and visas, easy visas, and so many other things. So this is the relationship they enjoy with each other. Now, if we want to discuss that what are the challenges, the key challenges between uh, Maldives and India, then of course you must have idea about that after our discussion. But I'd like to highlight, like first is Chinese factor. Like China is playing very crucial role, and India is really very concerned that China, like the ties of China and Maldives are just going on very good. And even like in this day, like President Muizu have visited China, and he signed many agreements. But as per the claim of some opposition members of Maldives, that the president have not disclosed all the agreements signed with Chinese government publicly. So what kind of agreements it could be? Can it be military based agreement? That China is going to open a military base in Maldives, and of course it is not good for security purpose, and it is purpose of India, and it will harm them, right? So that kind of problem. So you can understand that China factor is very important whenever we want to discuss the relationship between India and Maldives. The other thing is like the terrorism, the religious fundamentalism sector, because of the religious like background, like Muslim population. Maldives enjoy very close relationship with Muslim nations, and particularly when it is very close to Pakistan kind of nation, Saudi Arabia kind of nation, then of course the religious fundamentalism will grow, and it will harm, like terrorism kind of activities can be occurred from Maldivian support, from Maldivian land. These Saudi Arabia, Pakistan kind of country they use, and even some Maldivian citizens, young citizens, started involving in terrorist activities, getting terrorist trainings in Pakistan, that kind of. So it is also a big challenge for there. And other thing is like ideological differences. Like, of course, the nation is Muslim nation, and we are Hindu majority nation. But the kind of Hindu, like like you can understand, like after Modi government, like since Modi government came in power in India, a distinct kind of display started evolving, like India as a Hindu majority kind of nation. So it it can it can make the population, the Maldivian Muslim population, a little suspicious about India, and they got a little uh, insecure also. So India needs to take that as challenge, and with that identity, because we are a majority Hindu majority nation. But if we want to have very good relationship with other Muslim nations, then how we should represent ourselves, what should be our identity, and how should we deal with that kind of countries? That is also a challenge, a kind of important challenge. And yeah, so these thing I and with this thing I would like to conclude that of course Maldives and India, uh, these countries are enjoying very good relationship with each other, very close relationship with each other, with of course significant ups and downs you can find out. But even then Maldives can't ignore India, because it's because of many reasons. Like, it is a reliable friend of Maldives, tested by time, like so many times, like COVID period, during COVID period, like during 2004 tsunami period, during 2014 water crisis. So it helped Maldives. But you, in these days also water crisis occurred over there, and Maldives did not ask for help to India, but to China. And China and sent water over there. So the change is notable. But even then, uh, of course, in the later election, when new government will come, most probably they will follow India first policy. So ups and downs so will come. But even then the relationship was like even maintained. Like, even Muizu government can't just ignore India, because the government have really, even right now, Maldivian government have loans from India. So it need to like pay back the loans, and other thing also. So yeah, so it need to maintain the relationship. And India is doing also very, like, even some controversies occurred, or some negative remarks occurred, like when Modi ji was promoting tourism in Andaman Nicobar Island. Then some negative remark had been come from the MPs, the of Maldives. So that kind of, but at that point of time, even media made that controversial point very like highlighted. But even then, Indian government do not react to that, and maintain uh, a very mature like reaction. So because it want to have good relationship in Maldives, and even against those two MLAs, MPs also, president like took steps against them. So, and criticize them that they should not make such remarks. So for them, for both of them, though they are like important, and they try to maintain their relationship with some ups and downs. So yeah, I would like to end this lecture. Thank you so much. If you want to ask any question, kindly ask.
Thank you for a very, I should say, precise, the description of the nature of relationship between the two neighbors. And now I will like to open the house for question answer session. So I will ask the students to please come up with your questions. First, introduce yourself and put the question in a very clear and simple manner. Come on, be quick. Come on. Come on, be quick. Don't wait for others. Be the first one.
नहीं ना बताओ हमें तो क्या करके बताओ
Switch on your video. Switch on your video.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Come on,
Sir,
Sawan.
yeah,
Yeah.
ma'am. Recently, I have been to Kerala, and there I got to know that the Maldivians are largely purchasing their plots in Kerala, because there's a theory whenever global warming occurs, the first nation who will be eloped is Maldives.
Yes.
So, on this, what are your what's your take on this?
Okay. So yeah. So therefore, you can, if you learn about the good governance of Maldives, then the Maldivian government is very interesting. I took really very many steps for combating the problem of uh, of course, greenhouse gas impact kind of thing. So because the ocean, like the whole nation can be removed from globe. So of course, the government took several steps so the kind of problem can be ignored. But of course, the kind of all those so many agreements and so many international uh, treaties and kind of meetings have occurred, and Maldives always highlighted this point. Then if you guys don't stop and don't just change your approach for development and don't focus on sustainable goal and try to ignore such things, then we will lose our land, we will be removed from map. So yeah, but such things is notable, and it because they know that the ocean layer is increasing day by day. So that thing is can the danger is like they sense the danger, therefore they're doing these things. And even government is taking step, but it is not something that they alone can do. The whole world, the other countries need to do a lot for that purpose. So yeah, it is important thing. Green good governance. They are following ecological green good governance, so they can secure themselves because they are a small archipelagic nation. So for that purpose, and in this concern also, India became very important because any problem occurred over there, China or any other nation is not going to help them and not going to provide them land that come and you can live here. Although India have not ensured any such promise that we are going to help them or help you or like, but even then they move towards India only. It shows the importance of India, and it shows that if, for example, like in future, if any such problem occur, that India would be the first nation that can help them, and they will move towards India only, not Sri Lanka, because India is a developing nation. We have employment, we have sufficient amount of uh, like things that we can take care of them. So they know that well. Even there are so many Indians are working as doctors, professors, researchers. Very good thing. So they know the importance of India. So it shows that kind of relationship. Yes. Over to you.
Yes, next question. Next question. Come on, next question from someone else. Manju, you wanted to ask a question? Come on. Anyone else asking a question? We will not detain the guest for a very long time. Come on, be quick. I think let them make up their mind about asking questions. Dr. Sushma, I would like to know your views on some issues relating to India and Maldives relationship.
What is my view? My
Yeah,
view.
I mean, let me put it a little more clearly
Mhm.
that problem with India's neighbors is not any third party intervention, third party impact, but I think it is the domestic politics that is responsible for the relationship with India. So whether it is Maldives, whether it is Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, whatever happens in the domestic politics, it impacts with that country's relations with it. So how India can help it? Just can pray for that there is political stability in the neighborhood. That is, I think, only which India can do make, and for that, it will not be proper to blame India for that. They have to take care of their own household. So what you have to say? I mean, how they should look after their own domestic politics? They have their differences and all that. So why should it impact that nation's relations with India?
Of course, that I have indicated this thing, that as of course we are two independent countries and we have different identities, but we need to understand that what kind of or ideologies our like our citizens are following and their citizens are following, what our religions, what our thought process, and accordingly we have our own political parties, and the political parties is going to rule with that particular ideologies only. So as the determinant of foreign policy, ideologies play very important role, and the think tanks and the like prime minister or ministers or the political parties, they are the political agents who frame the policies, the foreign policies, and who decide that how we are going to deal the nation, how we are going to uh, like represent our nation, what would be the identity of our nation, and it will have impact over the relationship with any other countries. And for that purpose we need to be like if we like even in Maldives also, they have like a distinct social background, social identities, and distinction between them, differences between them you can find out, and differences of ideologies in their political parties also. And you can see that the whatever political party came in power with particular ideologies, it impact their foreign policy, it impact, of course, if it impact their foreign policies, then of course it will impact the relationship they will going to establish with other nations. So these things we cannot avoid. But even then, if just like if I want to say that how India can do in this situation, how India can do this better, or can maintain good relationship with such nations like Bangladesh, who are Muslim majority nations, then again the kind of secular identity, if it will improve, and the kind of, and even media play very crucial role in doing this. Like the kind of identity, Hindu nation, that kind of identity, that just to get the publicity, just to uh, get the benefit. Media is doing that kind of thing. So yeah, so we need to have the kind of political leaders who can uh, represent India as a secular nation. So the Muslim countries would not have that kind of suspicion and would not have that kind of hatred. The public opinion would not be against. Public opinion does matter a lot. And I have observed, I have talked to some Bangladeshis, I have talked to some Maldivian people. They're very suspicious about Indians because of they have anti-Indian opinion, anti-Indian approach because of the religion conflict, the kind of particularly Modi government. So of course, so we need to maintain our identity as a secular nation, and media should play a mature role, so the relationship with other nation can be maintained. Of course, it can't be dependent on India only. It depend on other nation, their ideologies, their political parties, their leaders also. But what we can do, we should focus on that, and we should even try, even if in that situation we should try our level best to maintain our relationship. We should not be that aggressive, that reactive to their uh, even negative remarks regarding our government or regarding our ideologies. So I personally believe like this, and other nations like China and that kind of thing. So in this situation, again, see, if I talk to you, then and I give you proper time and you give me time, then we don't have time for other nation, other people. Uh, like you don't have time for other country. So that kind of gap, we should try to fill the gap. so other nation could not come in between us. But of course, if Maldives wanted to have like close relationship with other countries, even that situation we should offer such policies and such benefits to them, so they can't move towards and uh, like China. So we can do that also. So yeah, over to you, sir.
Yeah. The problem is that our neighbors blame for everything, and they say that, but how India is responsible for their own problems? They have
Yeah,
to
of
solve
course.
their own problems. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
as you know, the present government, it is always a love-hate relationship for the last few months. Sometimes
Yeah.
they say, no, we recall your military personnel from here. Then they think about its impact. Then they say, no, 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 we don't want this. I mean, we want cordial relations with it. Sometimes they send their envoys to India to, to
Yeah.
just soften the relations and all that. So this sort of love-hate relationship will, I think, go on with all our neighbors, not only Maldives, but also
Yeah,
with Sri
exactly.
Lanka and Bangladesh or it is
Yes.
Nepal.
Yes. Yes.
Of course, the case with Pakistan is a little different. But all
Mhm.
these neighbors, their behavior has been on the same lines for the last so many years. It's not very unusual. It's not
Mm.
very surprising.
Mm.
So I think we have taken a lot of your time, and we would like to thank you for sparing time for us and for our students. And with your permission, I would like to close this session. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for
Mm,
giving me
mm,
this opportunity. I'm also very grateful to give the
Thank you.
lecture, and thank you. Thank you so much.